Olga Granaturova, you are COO, founder of Parthenon Therapeutics. You're here at BioFuture talking about the future of health. Tell us your vision of the structure of a biotech company. I know you have strong feelings about founder-led, female-led. What do you see as the ideal structure for industry moving forward?
So that's actually a very interesting question. So I see it really as there's three verticals of innovation in therapeutics. So you got pharma, you got VC-led, VC-structured, which are also very important, but it's really a little bit more de-risked. And then you have founder-led companies and founder-started. And so where I think is actually all of them are super important. Founder-led to raise money, you really have to be differentiated. So where it's like it's a little bit riskier, but it's really differentiated, and this is really a future of whole environment.
Tell us about the passion of founder-led and how it translates into business success. Because I know there are a lot of people that think, oh, we need to put in place kind of a legacy management team.
Yes.
And what would you say to someone who says that's the best structure?
No, absolutely. So that's actually also very interesting. So nobody's going to care about your company more than you do. Parthenon is a little bit different because every co-founder that we have been in pharmaceutical industry over 27 years. I personally have 27 years, Laurent 27 years, Glenn Bagley, who used to be at Amgen, I think over 50 years. So we really know how to take drugs all the way from target ID to commercialization and the whole value chain of that. In addition, there's a lot of experience of managing and building the teams and bringing people together. And I think why founder-led companies are so important, because it's really also trains a new generation of scientists. Because they see the passion, they see that you're really rolling up the sleeves and doing whatever's necessary to really bring these new drugs to patients. And that creates a whole environment, whole culture of the company that people actually not taking no for an answer. We're rolling up the sleeves. If it's necessary, we're going to move the equipment, move the equipment to like another lab to continue research, not to take the day off. And it really translates to the whole company.
Like you, I attend a lot of these industry conferences, and you certainly see a good amount of white males. Do you think the industry is getting more diverse? Are there more females taking a role? It would seem that way, but I'm curious, what you think.
So we are making progress.
Yeah.
For me, progress is still very slow. So we do see a lot more women in C-suite. However, I think we're still struggling on the private side is investment in female founders. So traditionally, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, it's been 2.2%. 2021 and fell to 2.0.
Wow, okay.
And this is at the time when actually more than 50% of women graduating from universities with advanced degrees.
Right.
So ideas is not really an issue, right? So we really have to think about how do we change the bias, how do we change stereotypes of entrepreneurship, who starts companies, what companies actually are successful. And there is a lot of research that demonstrates that if you have at least one woman on board, or at least one woman in C-suite, the company reaches exit a lot quicker, which in biotech, as you know, is enormous if you think about the burn rate every month. So we still have a lot of work to do. It's not really just men whose bias we need to break. It's really across the board. We really also need to think about what age, what do we think of entrepreneurs? Because a lot of people think about entrepreneurs like somebody who dropped out of Harvard or Stanford and starts a company right away. But if you really look at research, you'll find out it's mostly 42-year-old or something along those lines who actually start successful companies. And it makes sense too. You have the network, you have connections, you have some money to start the company and see it succeed.
I asked this to my panel yesterday. I want to ask you, what are you most optimistic? What are you most excited about for this industry in the next 5 to 10 years? Could be a category of science, could be a therapeutic, it could be something like the breaking down of walls. What excites you about this industry?
So I think there's a couple of things. First of all, the the way that we can now start new companies, and again, going to founders, long time ago it was almost impossible because you have to build the lab from the ground up. Now you have incubators, you have biolabs, and you really, the cost of doing experiments to actually taking it and doing the killer experiments is way down. So that's why I'm super excited because again, there's so much science, and I do think that we have responsibility. If you have a hypothesis which is really going to help patients, you want to do it very quickly, a killer experiment, and you have responsibility to try it out and bring it to patients as quickly as possible. And that's what now, actually, with all the collaborations that are taking place with service providers, you're removing all the white spaces and you're bringing it to patients as quickly as possible.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The infrastructure, there's more of a support network.
Yes.
Not that it's easy, but it's more supportive than it used to be.
It's more supportive, and also I think people are finding new creative ways to actually move it forward without necessarily taking VC money initially. So, and a lot of people are more open to actually doing collaborations, which is like once you raise, let's say, 10 million or so on, let's do it together. Let's figure out how we're going to do it. But again, it's really, if you have a differentiated value proposition, people will jump, people will help out.
It's amazing. And I'm thrilled to be here in person, feeling the energy of this conference and being able to speak to people like you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.